Yeah, what's happening, people? So if you're a young person in construction and you want to make money, this is the video to listen to. But make sure you are subscribed to the channel, because I've noticed some of you lot have not subscribed to the channel, and all it takes is just for you to press that button which is called subscribe, and then just leave it a little thumbs up, and I will appreciate it and smile when I see that. So when I speak to a lot of young people, all they tell me as a plumbing lecturer is that I want to make money, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, because we all want to make money. That's the reason why we do the jobs we do, or we do it because we love it, which, you know, there's not that many of us that love our jobs, right? We love the things, what it brings us in our lives. That's money, freedom, and the ability to do other things, right? So I say this to say that, to say, if you're trying to make money within construction, yeah, my honest thing is that you've got to learn to do a little bit of everything. What do I mean by a little bit of everything? I mean, if you can do some little handyman skills, yeah, you need to perfect those skills. You know, if somebody asks me, oh, could I hang a door? Even me as a plumber, 10 years ago, I'm like, hell no, I'm not doing that. But now I like, yeah, I might do it now. Do you know what I mean? Just to help someone out. But I know I can make a bit of quick money, if you get what I mean. Other little jobs which I've definitely took on as a plumber, which is electric showers, installing those. There's a part of it which is got to be connected up to some power, equals power versus water gives you electric shower, you know. But there is a good price to be made on those types of things. One thing I would say with people who want to start a business, I definitely feel nowadays you need to go and learn a little bit more about business. When I mean learn it, I mean some type of course, some type of yeah, a course. That's where I would start. A business course on how to promote yourself, but also how to use other platforms, like not just like Instagram. You're using your LinkedIn to get a lot of jobs. You'll find that a lot of people get their next jobs through their LinkedIn. So it's their profile, how they're looking up on the internet. That print, which is your digital footprint on the internet, is very important to any business trying to grow or to be able to find a community. I have a niche business, which is plumbing. You know, not everybody needs a plumber, right? You're right, of course. But I need to have jobs which allow me to tick over. Because I've met so many different people within my industry, yeah, I have a good amount of contacts to be able to call up, or for them to call me up sometimes and say, hey, blah, 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 blah. I've just had it just now. So if I turned my nose down to things like that, even though with the exclusion of that is a plumbing job, so I should be doing it. If I turned my nose down to those types of things, I'd be broke. I'll be honest with you. It's the little jobs. Everyone will tell you who's been in the industry for a period of time. It's the little jobs which actually keep you going and keep you ticking, right? So learning how to change cartridges in taps is like a general job for a plumber. Changing a washer in like a general job for a plumber. A washer kit, yeah, is under the price of £15. And I bet you, yeah, you could fit, let's say you fitted eight washers in taps, yeah, a minimum of 8, and it was £50 each. But you got that washer kit, and that washer kit cost you £15. Do the maths in it. If the maths is maths in it, makes sense. This is why I say to people, do a fucking course before. People turn around and they say they're doing a plumbing course and they're going to start a business. A plumbing course is not a business course. Any trades course is not a business course. Level 3 will allow you to be able to quote for jobs, but you don't know no bloody prices. How can you quote for something which you don't know? You got to understand your market, so therefore you got to do a level of market research. It's not just about setting yourself up and just putting yourself out there nowadays, because I'll be honest, you'll be wasting your time. And that's what people don't tell you, is that you will be wasting your time if you do stuff like that. And I tell people, because I've been through those stages of wasting my own time, of having a business and having my number up there and saying, why ain't no one calling my phone? No one ain't calling your phone because no one can see that you provide these levels of services. That's a fact. And it's only when I learned, obviously, how to use the internet a lot better, how to promote myself, and where I need to be popping up. I know I need to be popping up on platforms like Facebook, very powerful for advertisement within companies. But all of these, Facebook, Instagram, X, all of these lot want money to be able to promote your business. So you got to understand, are you going to be a person who now pays for leads? Because I understand a lot of our newer generation of plumbers and people that are just coming off the cuffs, who have less than 2 or 3 years experience, they pay for leads. For me, that's not a thing what I'm willing to do. Make money, and how I know how to make money is my services and the things which I do, and incorporating them and making them look like they are services which you can get as a customer, right? So I make it make sense for that. Shout out to the people that are on the live chat right now as well. Big you up as well. Make sure you guys are subscribed, because today we are talking about just young people getting into construction and wanting to make money. Because me as a lecturer, all I've heard from everybody, every student, when I start teaching them, oh, what do you want to do? Why is it that you want to be a plumber, right? The first thing they say is, I want to make money. Interesting. Who do you know who's a plumber that makes money? Because if you don't know nobody, it's a bit weird you saying that, oh, you can't believe what people hear. If the average salary, and people do not get the average salary is like 35 or 30k in this country, yeah? The average salary for a plumber is 46k. I had to close my eyes to think about it because I've done a video on it before and I had to remember the numbers, right? With that being said, there's not a lot of people that even get the average, yeah? So that's why you need to study your market and understand what trade you're getting into and what type of money you're going to be getting at the end of the day. Because if people go about it with just saying that type of money, yes, we all need money, right? Is just in the worst place, like for like tax, all these types of, and making money as well. The more money you make, the more higher you're going to get taxed instantly. So you got to be creative, and you got to understand that if a lot of people struggle, you're going to struggle as well. And that's something which I would say to people. That's why I say doing the small jobs and the little handyman, quote unquote, jobs, which don't really sound like they're fully for your trade, but there's something which you can do them. I would feel no way about helping someone clear out their garden because they're going to pay me £1,000 for the week. Do you think I care that I'm not doing plumbing jobs this week? No. I care the point that I'm making that £1,000 week by week by week. So getting into that mind frame, yeah, is going to help you like get to your goal when it comes to a figure. So let's say you want to save yourself 10 grand or something. Let's do jobs, or let's make sure we do enough PJs in our own personal time, which is going to add up to us making that type of money. This is a conversation which a lot of tradespeople don't want to have with other tradespeople, because the true conversation is that the little jobs will get you through. The little jobs will pay your bills. That's what you got to understand. I know some of the simplest things what I know how to do, like connect a toilet up. I know that's going to take me no less than like 20 minutes if it's not difficult. If it's difficult, 30 minutes, yeah? Connecting up a wash hand basin, that's going to take me best part of 20 minutes again. 30 minutes if it's a difficult one. If we have to do some adjustments, cool, I'll leave it to that time, but I'll make sure it's installed correctly. A bath, about 30 minutes again. A bath, we know you can get anything on the remit of installing a bath. Anything, I would say I wouldn't install a bath for anything less than 200, no, I would say 260 now. That's how much I would charge someone if they said like, I want to install and it's like for like, swap it out. Yeah, 260, no problem. I'll do it for that price. But that's just that one job. But I often speak to people who understand that I am a plumber, and maybe they've took on a project themselves and it's become a bit too overwhelming because it can be if you're not so familiar with doing the job and doing it correctly, right? I'm quite familiar with it because I've had 20 years of experience, like I said, and I am a plumbing lecturer as well. So I have been teaching young people in college and learning their mindset where they are, because a lot of our younger generation mindset is set on having money in it, because I think a lot of people feel that having money is growing up. It's not, I'll be honest with you. And it's not always cracked up to what it should be, because you've got to start paying tax. There's a lot of other things that start coming out your pocket when you do start making money. You get a little girlfriend price is expensive, but you want to live your life. Live your life, man. I would say all people to go for it, but just be open to the fact of having to do little jobs which you might not consider as falling in line as your trade. Just understand that those jobs are going to pay the bills. And I think as long as you understand that, you'll be all right. And it's about the representation what you're making for yourself, because I feel the younger generation are going to do stuff a lot different to how my generation has done stuff. So I'm in my 30s now, and I grew up on plumbing with doing I might do 6 or 7 jobs a day. Now today, there's no way that I could do 6 or 7 jobs. Not because I'm tired or nothing. It's just because of how much bloody traffic there is in London. And I think everybody knows that. And then you've got to be out at 7, leaving your house just a little bit before 7, on your road to where you're going so you can get for 8 o'clock. That's challenging enough as it is, but you're only keeping up a appearance and a standard for yourself, innit? If you're working on your own, because I do think that a lot of people want to go down this route of working on their own to put themselves in a place of freedom, because I feel that having a boss, like someone to answer to and all that, it's not for everybody. Quite a lot of people who are biding their own time till they get to this point of being comfortable and also confident as well. That's the 2 most important things. If you're trying to make money in this thing, you've got to be in yourself and what you're doing, comfortable that you're able to do what is being asked of you for the task. Might be installing a basin, might be installing a shower, might be installing a shower mixer valve. You've got to be confident. And I think that confidence will allow people to believe within you with whatever service you have got. I do want to say to my young people, I used to work in JD Sports, some many moons ago. And I wasn't the most confident person growing up with approaching other people who obviously I didn't know, innit? So working in JD Sports taught me a lot when it comes to customer service, being able to talk to people correctly, calmly, professionally, but also being able to understand what the customer would want and how to approach a customer. When I first started my plumbing business, I would always leave it to the end to be able to tell someone how much it's going to cost. I tell them over the phone now today, because I ain't even willing to risk the chance to go to the place and then say, I haven't got the money. Heard that so many times. How can I pay you? Listen, I only need money. That's the only thing I'm taking. So understanding how you're going to set your business up, understanding the market, what you're going into, I think is a big thing. But I feel that a lot of younger people, they've got a lot more chances on their hands, and they've got a lot more time to be able to fine tune the idea, which I now run today as Mr. London Plumber. But it's something which was a journey, and it's a journey which I wish I documented a lot more. I would say to you guys, document it a lot more, because social media is massive, Social media is a big, big thing nowadays. And if you can document your journey on how one place to another place, people want to see that, and they'll get behind your business and support you. So community support is a really big thing. I think people don't understand how powerful your local community is. I could be a very successful plumber by just focusing on my local business, but my area which I live in, it doesn't command the rates what I would like. So I don't do that. And it's a shame, but you got to go outside your borough to be able to find that, because I'm talking about from people who live in London. I don't know what it's like for people who live out of London, but my borough, let's say the average plumber or the average call out, they might be getting 60 to 80. For me, that's not enough. So I couldn't come out for that for an hourly rate. Again, some people obviously are willing to pay a little bit more, but making front with people, yeah, is going to save arguments and times, because people definitely do like to backtrack if you do a job and they say to you, I didn't know it was going to cost this much. You should have let me know. I've heard that many a times from people. Oh, you should have let me know that it was. And again, I'm human. This was just the beginning of my journey. So of course I'm going to get some things wrong. I don't beat myself up about it too much, because I am human in it at the end of the day. You get some things right, you get some things wrong. One of the things I got wrong was guesstimating to say that, oh, this person's going to be able to pay me this amount at the end. Again, I try to never make it be too inflated within the price, because I always understand that there's this element of someone always saying to you, no, I'm not paying that. And what do? You got to take them to a tribunal court. But that's hopefully something which never really happens to you guys, because there's something called PTSD of the money. And I reckon a lot of plumbers and tradespeople get this earlier on in their career, where they get stung or someone takes money from them, and you just never get over it at the end of the day. I mean, nobody wants to take losses, but it's a big part of construction because it's a high cash flow industry, right? So that means there's a lot of people exchanging money, and someone's going to get knocked, basically. And this is England as well. You got to understand, this is the land of the knockers. So they're knocking everywhere. So if you didn't know, now you know. Be careful about transactions. Understand who you're doing business with, because building those relationships with people from an early time can sometimes create reoccurring business, or will allow people to say, do you know what, I'm going to recommend this person. But find a lane for yourself, man. That's the most important thing. I think that a lot of us don't understand that finding a lane for you, which is your niche or your niche, where you're just consistently getting somewhere, consistently. And it is okay to measure your level of consistency as well. I think that's very important. And again, you can only expect what you put out. So if you don't put a lot out, you're not going to get a lot of results. Yeah. Working for me, because you're not being consistent, or you're not showing up in the right type of rooms what you need to be showing up in. Like, for you guys who have chose to watch this video, you definitely need to check out Facebook, because Facebook is a different type of market. Facebook has got a lot of the people who are going to contact you. Do you get it? I've found over my years that, yeah, I've got nearly coming up to 10,000 followers on Instagram, but I get a lot of my messages through Facebook, and a lot of my paying people are through Facebook. So it does make sense to knuckle down on places, double down, which we'll call it, on content wise, and make sure that you're being visible in those spaces. I think a lot of people are not going to be their own little secrets on how they get jobs or whatever, but figuring it out, there's a beauty in that as well. Figuring it out, a sweet spot for yourself, because I don't mind sharing the information which I find out, because I move like different chapters, right? So my first chapter of me starting a business, all I wanted to do was make dough. I'll do jobs. I had like 2-3 people I'll do jobs for. And again, I always made sure that I filmed the jobs and put them on my social media, which allowed other people to see what I do, but obviously created a little bit of an advert for me. And in the long term, I built my way to working with brands, companies, and doing social media stuff, basically, being a model and stuff like that. But that span off of my personality and who I am, showcasing myself on camera. And I kind of realized that if people grew with you growing up, yeah, they're going to see you as this other person years later, as someone who's very consistent, as someone who's very passionate about what they do. And those, I feel, are good attributes for a business person. They're good things for you to have in your toolbox. Like, you're consistent, you've got a good attitude, you've always got good reviews online about you. These things build you online. And that's where most businesses are now. They're online. Nothing else is anywhere else, you know. I think that, like, me, myself, and others, we all need to learn how to use these platforms. And if you do know how to use a platform and you're a young person, you know how to use a little TikTok, or you know how to use a little Instagram, you need to use that to your advantage, because there is a lot of money out there for you when you're promoting your business. And there's a lot of things which you can do to be able to be seen within a crowd, because that's what it is at the end of the day. When you get into this construction pool, which is a crowd of people, and it's you wanting to be seen for your skills, for what you do, right? And it's possible, but it's just something which you've got to be very consistent at. I would say I probably, when I start to be very consistent at what I'm doing to show, my phone will start to ring. It's just, that's just how it happens, isn't it? People would say, "Oh, I saw you pop up on this. I saw you done this. I saw you done this other job," and the phone will just start ringing. You just got to know how to deal with people accordingly. When people reach out to you, make sure you reply within a certain amount of time, because again, someone will go and find someone else, innit? It's just a common thing, innit? But you've got to make sure that you are a good representation of yourself. So let's say that if I called me, I would want to make sure that I replied within a good time frame, and I was able to not sell myself, but able to sell what I do, right? And what I do might be like, someone might be saying, "Oh, the last person that contacted me, there was a person," right? And then tell you what they said. We've got a toilet fitted in, and the toilet was taking really long to fill up. So I suggested that I would go around there with a wear cup, and then she said maybe it's because she's got too many bends in the pipework. Good point. She's obviously went onto the internet and done a little bit of research. So yes, having less bends in your pipework is gonna make the flow of water better, as we're gonna say in layman terms, but it will increase the flow of water if you have less bends on your pipework. But that person was smart. They understood that. Most people would just be like, "I don't know why it's not working." But being able to provide people with some solutions and talk about how we're going to go about it will buy me some time until I get to the job, because the person will understand that I've got interest in the job and that I know what to do. So they'll feel comfortable because they're in the right hands. And I think that whole method of dealing with customers, from a phone call to getting there, to doing the job, to making the money, that's all a process. And you want to make sure that process is as seamless as possible. So practicing doing it, practicing even talking to people and making sure that you've got a phone voice. Like, I'll give you mine. "Hello, how's it going?" Do you get it? You didn't even know it was me. You thought it was somebody else. Let me do it. "Hello." Do you get you do you see what I mean? You see what I'm doing here, innit? It's being able to put on a level of professionalness to be able to act within society, innit? That's what it's all about. And you know, when you're young, if you do that, yeah, you're gonna only ooze professionalness. And people will be proud of you, man. People will talk about you. Do you get it? So yeah, that's what I would suggest to young people. And another thing as well, before I go, which is never to be deterred, yeah, from starting something, even if you have no idea on how you're going to get it started. I was the same with Mr. London Plumber. So I got the logo, which was a dope logo for my cousin, yeah. Shout out my big cousin every single time. Slammed it up on that logo. Your logo is very important. It says something about your business. I got the London skyline and Mr. London Plumber underneath. You know the vibe. That speaks volumes of what my business is. Now I needed to build a brand around the business, which is me. So I was just being myself. And Once I started to be myself, I became in my comfort zone, yeah. When you first start it, yeah, it's all foreign to you. It's all familiar. It's all unfamiliar to you because you're not sure what you should be doing. But what you should be doing is thinking about the representation of yourself and maybe mimicking other plumbers or other tradespeople who you've seen operate on the job or how they go about doing something, whether it's communicating, whether it's going to the shop and making sure that you've got the right materials, sourcing other shops to be able to build accounts, build relationships with, making sure that you've got enough money to be able to sort out your projects. If you do have to invest, if you need to pay off anything, make sure you do it. And just look for different avenues. You know, there's so many avenues to earn from nowadays, but you just got to be better than the rest. And that doesn't come overnight. I think a lot of people want instant success, and it doesn't happen like that. Be patient. It took me a long time to get this business right because I had to work for other people. And when I worked for other people, I understood what they were doing wrong. And then I said, oh, make sure I don't do that, you know, because those were bigger companies that were having those problems with it. And you must understand that, what is it? It's like 90% of businesses that first start in the first year don't make it. I've had a business for the best part of 8 years, 9 years now. Again, I've kept it really small because it's what I can manage. And if I could get bigger, I wouldn't for now because of the climate what we live in. You also got to understand these things for yourself. Even though you might want to expand sometimes, staying small is good because you can control stuff. Again, if you've got too much work, give me a shout. I'm not joking. Well, if you've got too much work, you can now outsource a little bit of it, but you can still try and make a bit of profit off of it by saying, oh, if I give you this job, could you give me 10%, 15% of it? At least you're still making something. That's what a hustler is. You've got to still be in your hustling bag. There's things what you've learned from your school days or your earlier days, how to hustle and juggle money. These things are life skills, what you now got to put into play when you're starting to build this business. Again, there's loads of people that are going to be not going to be your biggest fan, not going to be a believer, as my friend says. You have to believe in yourself. Just know that it's a journey. It takes time, but you will get there. And when you do get there, or even if you're just starting it, I want you to drop a little comment underneath this video. I'm starting my construction journey or my plumbing journey or whatever journey it is within construction. And just let us know that you're starting today. And yeah, I wish you all good luck. And I want to tell you all to subscribe to the channel because my channel is about motivating people, real life conversations. I come and make these conversations and these lives on just the topics which I feel that people need. We all need someone to be able to talk to us like this and to say, you know what, it wasn't okay at the beginning. I did fuck up. I messed up with this, but I learned it. And that's the whole point of this real content, is learning something through someone else's mistakes, because mistakes make some people great people. And I hope you become a great person from watching this video. Make sure you like, share and subscribe. And it's Mr. London Plumber, and I'll see you on the other side.